Let's have a frank conversation. In the landscape of men's health, particularly as we navigate our 50s, 60s, and beyond, there is one question that echoes louder than almost any other. It's a question that's been whispered in private, shouted in locker rooms, and turned into a punchline in countless movies and late-night television shows. Does size really matter? We've all been exposed to it, haven't we? From the awkward jokes cracked at family gatherings to the relentless noise on social media, a constant barrage of memes, exaggerations, braggadocio, and bitter complaints. It's a cultural obsession. But beneath all that noise, behind the bravado and the banter, is a real man sitting quietly who has at some point in his life wondered, am I normal? Am I enough? Do I measure up to what's expected of me? And here is the absolute, clinical, and compassionate truth I want to share with you today. The answer to that persistent question is far more comforting and, frankly, far more surprising than our culture has ever led you to believe. So, I invite you to stay with me. In this discussion, we are going to meticulously separate fact from fiction. We will delve into what rigorous scientific studies actually show about female preferences. We'll explore why the myths we've been told are so incredibly powerful and persistent. And most importantly, we'll identify the everyday habits and silent anxieties that can damage a man's confidence far more profoundly than any measurement on a ruler ever could. Before we go any further, I'd love to know where you're joining me from today. Please take a moment and tell me in the comments. It's always inspiring to see just how far our community for mature men's health reaches. And while you're there, if you find value in this conversation, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support is what allows us to continue bringing you honest, evidence-based health insights, free from shame, stigma, or sales gimmicks. Now, let's dismantle the myth. It's a simple, pervasive narrative. Bigger is always better. It's a story told so often that it's taken on the weight of truth. But science, real unbiased science, tells a profoundly different story. Across multiple studies, conducted in various countries and with diverse groups of women, a clear pattern emerges. When women are given the privacy and freedom to state their preferences without social pressure or influence, the overwhelming choice is for an average size. That's right, not the extremes you see sensationalized online, not the cartoonish, exaggerated versions that populate the adult film industry. The preference is for what is normal, what is common. The reason for this is beautifully simple. True intimacy is about comfort, connection, and mutual pleasure. It's a collaborative experience, not a competition of inches. And here is the most reassuring part of all: the vast majority of men, statistically, almost all men, already fall squarely within this preferred average range. The anxiety so many men carry is based on a fantasy standard that has little to no bearing on reality. For those of you who may be new to this channel, allow me to introduce myself. I am Dr. Diana Lynn. I am a board-certified urologist and a certified sexologist with over a decade of clinical experience dedicated to helping men, especially those over 50, protect their confidence, deepen their intimacy, and restore a sense of dignity to their health journey. Over the years, I have sat with hundreds of men in the quiet confidence of my clinic. Good men. Successful men. Husbands, fathers, and grandfathers. And so many of them have voiced the same quiet, vulnerable concern. Doctor, I'm worried I'm not enough. I have seen firsthand how destructive that fear can be, not just in the bedroom, but in the very fabric of a man's life, eroding self-esteem, creating distance in marriages, and even impacting confidence in their careers. That is precisely why I want to walk you through the real science today. And after we've established the facts, I will share the 5 most common and damaging mistakes men make when grappling with this issue, along with the practical, actionable steps you can take to replace insecurity with unshakable confidence. Let's begin with mistake number 1, believing the myths peddled by media. Biologically, the scientific consensus is clear. Decades of research have shown that the average erect penis is approximately 5 to 6 inches in length, and about 4.5 to 5 inches in circumference or girth. Let that sink in. This isn't speculation, it's clinical data. Furthermore, market research into the adult toy industry reveals a fascinating parallel. The top-selling products, the ones women choose for themselves, overwhelmingly fall into this exact same size range. Emotionally, when a man compares his own body to the unrealistic and often digitally altered images in pornography or the exaggerated tales he hears, he creates a cycle of anxiety and shame. He feels inadequate, even when, by all objective measures, he is perfectly normal and right on target with what is most desired. Practically, the solution is to consciously disengage. Stop comparing yourself to fictional portrayals. Remember that a woman's private choices and the scientific data reflect reality, not a Hollywood fantasy. Your benchmark should be the data, not the drama. This brings us to mistake number 2, ignoring comfort and proper fit. Biologically, the female anatomy is a marvel of design, but it is not infinitely elastic. The average depth of the vaginal canal is about 3 to 4 inches at rest, extending to about 5 to 6 inches when fully aroused. This means that excessive length doesn't necessarily reach more pleasure centers. In fact, it can cause significant discomfort or even pain by bumping against the cervix. Similarly, excessive girth can cause painful friction and a feeling of being uncomfortably stretched. Emotionally, what most women crave in intimacy is a sense of trust, safety, and emotional closeness. They do not want sex to feel like a performance they must endure. They want it to feel like a connection they can get lost in. When a woman is worried about potential pain, her body instinctively tenses up, making the experience less pleasurable for both partners. Practically speaking, your focus should be on the elements you can control that truly enhance pleasure: pacing, rhythm, open communication, and exploring different positions. These factors contribute far more to mutual satisfaction than an extra half-inch ever could. Mistake number 3 is a crucial one, assuming all women want the same thing. Biologically, research does show some subtle variations in preference. For instance, a well-known study published in the journal PO's ONI found that women who more frequently experience vaginal orgasms sometimes report a mild preference for a penis that is slightly longer than average. But again, we are talking about a preference for something in the range of 6.5 inches, not the extreme measurements of myth and legend. The key word here is mild preference, not a strict requirement. Emotionally, preferences are as individual as people are. Some women may have a preference related to size, while for many others, it is a complete non-issue. What is valued almost universally, however, is a partner's confidence, his attentiveness, his creativity, and his ability to communicate. Practically the most powerful shift you can make is in the questions you ask. Instead of inwardly asking, "Am I big enough?" a question rooted in insecurity, start asking your partner, "What feels best for you? What makes you feel most comfortable and connected?" This simple change from a monologue of self-doubt to a dialogue of shared discovery can absolutely transform your intimate life. Let's move on to mistake number 4, neglecting your overall health. Biologically, the quality and reliability of a man's erection have far more to do with his cardiovascular health, hormone balance, and lifestyle choices than his congenital size. Chronic dehydration, smoking, poor sleep, a sedentary lifestyle, and unmanaged stress all directly and negatively impact blood flow. And robust blood flow is the absolute cornerstone of a firm erection. Emotionally, a man who invests in his own well-being, who has energy, who feels strong in his body, who carries himself with vitality, radiates an aura of attractiveness that is completely independent of his physical measurements. This is the essence of true masculine presence. Practically, you need to take charge of the fundamentals, hydrate diligently throughout the day, engage in regular exercise that gets your heart pumping, develop healthy strategies for managing stress, prioritize getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night. In survey after survey, women consistently rank a partner's vitality, energy, and presence as far more attractive than any single physical attribute. And finally, we arrive at mistake number 5, letting insecurity control the bedroom. Biologically, when you feel anxious, your body enters a state of fight or flight. Your adrenal glands release stress hormones like cortisol. This cortisol acts as a direct antagonist to testosterone and a powerful vasoconstrictor, meaning it narrows your blood vessels. This is the exact opposite of what you need for a strong erection, which requires relaxed, open blood vessels. Anxiety literally creates a self-fulfilling prophecy of softer erections, diminished pleasure, and a cycle of frustration. Emotionally, many men enter an intimate encounter already worried, their minds filled with comparisons and fears of inadequacy. Your partner can sense that anxiety. She can feel the emotional distance. It breaks the spell of the moment and replaces connection with a feeling of pressure and performance. Practically, you must make a conscious choice to replace comparison with confidence. Before being intimate, take a few slow, deep breaths. Focus your attention entirely on your partner, on their touch, their scent, their response. And remind yourself of the truth: I am enough. Presence, patience, and attentiveness are the true aphrodisiacs. So, what can you begin doing starting today to internalize this truth? First, stop the comparison trap. Unfollow any social media accounts that fuel your insecurity. Mute the channels that promote unrealistic body standards. You must actively protect your mind from this cultural poison. Second, learn and accept the averages. Burn these numbers into your memory: 5 to 6 inches in length, 4.5 to 5 inches in girth. Science and the real-world preferences of women confirm that you are almost certainly well within this ideal range. Third, shift your focus from size to skill. Things like communication, generosity with foreplay, emotional attunement, and building trust are what women consistently rank as most important for sexual satisfaction. Invest your energy there. Fourth, invest in your holistic health. Remember that strong circulation, balanced hormones, good sleep, and proper hydration matter infinitely more than an inch on a ruler. Your overall vitality is your greatest asset. And fifth, practice confidence rituals. Before intimacy, ground yourself. Take that deep breath, focus entirely on your partner, and affirm to yourself, I am here, I am present enough. Listen, I understand this topic is loaded with decades of emotional baggage. Some of you may have carried these insecurities since you were a teenager. Perhaps a cruel comment was made years ago that you've never been able to shake. Or maybe you've carried this silent worry into every relationship you've ever had. But I want you to hear this loud and clear. Science is on your side. The data is on your side. You are normal. You are enough. And you are absolutely capable of being a deeply satisfying and connected partner. Not because of a number, but because of who you are as a man. Your character, your presence, and your attentiveness. Gentlemen, let me leave you with this final thought. True, lasting confidence doesn't come from chasing an impossible, mythical extreme. It comes from understanding reality, from taking exceptional care of the body you have, and from showing up in your relationships with presence, kindness, and respect. Age is not the end of vitality. For so many of the men I work with, their 60s and 70s become their most confident and fulfilling years because they finally gain the wisdom to let go of superficial comparisons and step fully into deep, meaningful connection. So please hold your head high. You do not need to measure up to the myths. You only need to measure up to the best version of yourself. And that, I assure you, is more than enough. If you found this information reassuring or helpful, please like this video, subscribe for more evidence-based men's health content, and consider sharing this with a friend or a loved one who might need to hear this truth. I'm Dr. Diana Lynn, reminding you that your worth is not defined by inches. It's defined by your health, your confidence, and the love you bring into this world. Stay strong, stay confident, and I'll see you in the next video.